No, yan ang iginiit ni Presidential Spokesman Harry Roque sa gitna ng oposisyon ng ilang senador sa posibleng no-L o no-election scenario sa 2019. Nauna nang sinabi ni House Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez kung uusa daw kasi ngayong taon ang pagbabago ng konstitusyon para gawing federal ang uri ng gobyerno mula presidential, kakailanganin ang transition period para dito. At kapag nangyari yan, di na muna magkakaroon ng eleksyon ng mga senador, kongresista at iba pang opisyal sa May 2019. Sabi rin ni Senate President Coco Pimentel, kapag natuloy nga ang pagbabago tungong federalism, posibleng mapalawig pa ang termino ni Pangulong Duterte pagkatapos ng 2022. Agad itong tinutulan ng mga senador sa oposisyon at kahit si Secretary Roque sinabing malabong mangyari ito.
Malinaw po sinabi ni Presidente, kung mapapaagaan charter change para magkaroon ng probisyon na mapapainting natin yung laban natin laban sa korupsyon, miski maaga niyang tapusin ang termino niya. Pero wala po siyang sinabi na siya ay nagnanais na palawakin pa o patagalin pa ang kanyang termino. Malinaw na malinaw po si Presidente dyan. And I think even the Senate President said that the President would have to consent, no? And given the emphatic statement of the President that he does not wish to stay 1 minute longer than his term, I do not think it is something that he finds attractive.
Well, the kind of progress that we have, especially in the House of Representatives, which is really a rubber stamp already, the supermajority, ang dali-dali nilang gawin, ang gusto nilang gawin. Look at what happened sa martial law extension. It was a walk in the park. So ganyan na naman siguro yan, lalo na sa House of Representatives. Sino ba rinoloko nila? At ilang beses na sila nanloloko, ilang beses na yung sasabi. Iba yung sinasabi, iba yung ginagawa. Iba sinasabi sa isang araw, tapos binabawi the next day or a few days later. So, sino bang linoloko nila? Kaya dapat bantayan natin yan, wag natin papayagan yan. Yung madilim na balak, maitim na balak nila. Yung Noel, yung federalism, na ang pinakahangarin lang naman nila ay nandyan sila sa pwesto, sa pangyarihan ng marami pang taon.
Hindi na raw bago para kay Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte na mapabilang sa matutunog na senatorial bets. Ito ay matapos mapabalitang kasama siya sa malalakas sa pagkasenador sa 2019 base sa ilang survey. Sabi ni Duterte, minsan na siyang napabilang sa listahan ng mga nagdaang eleksyon. Sa kaniyang statement, nagpasalamat ang presidential daughter sa mga nagpahayag ng suporta. Pero nanindigan ng alkalde na patuloy siyang magsisilbi sa mga kapwa niya Davaoenyo. Pero nagpahaging si Duterte sa mga kritiko ng ama. Hanggat hindi raw siya iniinis ng mga kalaban ng Pangulo, ay pwede sa mga tinawag niyang dilawan ang kaniyang slot. Ang posisyon ng plano fast break ang pag-amyenda ng konstitusyon ngayong taon. Maliban kasi sa federalismo, isa sa pinag-uusapang amendment ay term extension para kay Pangulong Duterte at pati na rin mga local and national officials. Sabi ni Senate President Coco Pimentel, maaari daw i-extend ang termino ng Pangulo lagpas ng 2022 kung talagang kinakailangan. Tutal, ipapakapupa naman ito sa taong bayan. Manatuloy ang ruling party Senator Pangulo, hindi mo ng federalism ang pakay ng charter change, kundi term extension. Haharangan daw ito ng Liberal Party. Sa Maextend na lang ang lahat ng termino hanggang 2022. Pero sabi ni Presidential Spokesman Harry Roque, hanggang hindi nagbabago ang konstitusyon, kailangan matuloy ang 2019 midterm elections.
Sir, on another matter, Speaker Alvarez sir said that one of the possible scenarios in 2019 may be no L or no election if we can push if the government can push through with the federalism, sir. What is the palace's reaction on this?
Again, the President always looks to the Constitution as his guiding document. The Constitution sets the date for the next elections in 2019. So unless the Constitution is amended ahead of the 2019 elections, it will have to push through.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, may follow-ups on no election? Dexter Ganibe.
Sir, sabi ng House Speaker, possible ang no election 2019, pero ayon kay SP, Senate President, pwede din naman daw ituloy kahit may mangyayaring transition kung sakaling mong maipush yung federal system. Ano po ang pananaw ng Malacanang dito?
For the Chief Executive, the role of the President is to implement the Constitution and the law. As I said, it is a Constitution that sets when the next election is. The law required of Congress for election purposes will only enable the spending of public funds in that regard. No? So unless the Constitution is amended, which includes being ratified by the people prior to the date set in the Constitution, elections will have to push through.
Okay, thank you.
Copy.
Next, sa train, si Pia Gutierrez. Microphone, Pia Gutierrez. Thank you, Benji.
Sir, follow-up lang po dun sa train. Meron pong call ang grupong Laban Consumer for government to appoint a price czar to monitor the effect of or the impact of a train across departments. Ano po ang masasabi niyo, sir? Sa palagay niyo, kailangan po ba ng isang price czar, sir?
Point well taken, but I think that would be superfluous because we already have the Department of Trade Industry performing that task.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Laila Salaveria.
Morning, sir. On
Yes, good
the
morning.
entry of a third telco player, according to Secretary Andonar, the role is open to other foreign players. Given that the President specifically offered the slot to China, will it be acceptable to him if another foreign player gets the
Let me
role?
be clear on this. No? The offer to China was made in a bilateral talk between the President and the Chinese Premier. It appears to have been accepted because the Chinese government nominated China Telecoms. No? Now, we do not know if it will actually push through. As you know, the devil is always in the details. Now, I'm sure the Chinese side has been informed that we will have to comply with the constitutional provision that Chinese ownership will be limited to 40%, no? And that the Department of Information Communication, the ICT, has already said that they would want a Filipino consortium to own the 60% majority stake in this third telecoms. No? If for any reason this is not acceptable to China Telecoms, then we have no choice. No? We gave China the option, but if this is not acceptable to it, unfortunately, we will have to look for other players because we will have to honor what the Constitution provides, 60-40 in terms of owning a telecoms company. But there are no indications that China Telecom does not want to push through with the project. But unless it's actually up and going, I guess there is always a possibility that others may be involved. If for any reason China Telecoms or China decides not to push through with their commitment to start a third telecoms company.
But are you saying that China already has an advantage, or will the process be competitive?
No, I mean, right now, because it was offered and accepted, we will honor our word. But as I said, if for any reason China Telecoms or any company nominated by the Chinese government finds the 60-40 requirement in the Constitution to be unacceptable, then of course, that will give us now the option to offer it to other companies.
So parang China is the first option, and only if they refuse to comply with our provisions.
That's my understanding, no? Because it was formally offered in a bilateral talk between the Chinese Premier and the Philippine President, and they have since nominated China Telecoms.
So wala talagang competition. So walang competitive bidding in a sense.
Well, as far as the 40% stake is concerned, they have to comply with the Philippine Constitution. They will have to partner with Filipino companies with an existing franchise, because otherwise they would have to go to Congress for another franchise.
But it will be China.
So far as I know, it has been offered to China. We don't know what the details are, but the deadline is fast approaching. The President wants it up and about in the first quarter of this year.
Last na lang, sir, you mentioned in a radio interview that China wanted 100% ownership.
Well, okay, no, they did not want it. I was just observing that in the past, and this is prior to my stint as presidential spokesperson, one difficulty encountered by Chinese companies is they're not used to not owning an investment 100%. Okay, so I do not know if this is applicable to China Telecoms. I did not say it in relation to China Telecoms, but in general, I know as a private practitioner in the past that Chinese state-owned companies are always uncomfortable with not having 100% or majority stake. But as I said, that does not apply to China Telecom. I have no personal information that applies to China Telecoms.
Okay, follow up. Ace, last 4 A's, then Benji, Selenina, and last Rose.
Secretary, clarification. So there will only be a bidding for frequency kung hindi nagkasundo yung Philippines at China sa details. Tama po ba?
Bidding for frequencies, well, I do not see. It is the Filipino corporation that will be awarded the frequency, and I know right now that there is